Welcome to Realty Web Series, a Realty and More and ICCPL initiative. For the past fortnight, we are deliberating various issues plaguing the real estate sector as a result of the situation arising out of COVID-19. We have dealt with the office space and retail segments of the industry. Today, we are going to talk on the overall state of the real estate sector in the country. Joining me on the webinar today are Deepak Kapoor, Director Gulshan Homes, Praveen Jain, CMD Tulip Group, Vikas Vadwan, Group CFO, PropTiger.com, Makan.com, and Housing.com. And with me is Prashant Thakur, Director and Research Head, Anarock. Also joining us is Aditya Rana from Aaj Tak.
So, I think he has joined. Aditya ji, namaskar.
Welcome.
Sir, namaskar. कैसे हैं आप?
बढ़िया, first class.
So, see, the residential sector was already battling with subdued demand for many years, and the recent liquidity crisis worsened the situation. So, after that, the government is also announcing few measures over the last 1 week. So, my first question to Deepak Kapoor is you. Now the government has increased extended the CLSS benefit to 1 more year. So how is it going to impact the residential sector?
Well, thank you very much for this series. I come straight away to the answer. CLL series extending 1 more year is a welcoming gesture. I really appreciate and thank the government for this. It will definitely boost the demand in the affordable housing sector. It is very good for the government to think about affordable housing and take it forward to a new growth path. However, I say that they should do it for a couple of years. What happens is, when the government gives it in bits and pieces, so the graph is zigzag, and we do not know in the next financial year whether the industry will get that benefit or the consumer will get that benefit or not. So what we are thinking, we are not thinking of a long-term perspective. When we see the gestation cycle or the complete cycle of a group housing or a real estate project, the time frame varies from the number of units to be produced, but minimalistically, it is usually 2 years to 5 years a residential project sees from start to finish, depending upon the size and the number of units. So I say that the government has to think on that minimum level of 5 years and then provide that impetus so that the continuity in that provision remains there. But having said that, something is always better than nothing. So we welcome that, and probably it will offer some benefit in boosting the demand in affordable segment.
Praveen ji, आप नरेटको के वाइस चेयरमैन भी हैं, अपार्ट फ्रॉम बीइंग ट्यूलिप सीएमडी. आप लोगों की काफी टाइम से ये डिमांड थी कि एक रेंटल हाउसिंग पॉलिसी आए. अब गवर्नमेंट ने रिसेंटली अनाउंस किया है रेंटल हाउसिंग पॉलिसी फॉर अफोर्डेबल हाउसिंग. आपका क्या रिएक्शन है इस पर?
ये देखिए, काफी पहले आ जाना चाहिए था. हम लोग काफी टाइम से डिमांड कर रहे थे, बट अब उसका ब्लूप्रिंट तैयार इन्होंने किया था, ड्राफ्ट प्रिंट तैयार किया था, तो हमारे साथ शेयर भी किया था. उसमें कुछ सजेशन हमने इनको दिए थे. वो फाइनल क्या निकल के आएगा उसके बाद मुझे लगता है चीजें ज्यादा बेटर होंगी.
Prashant, the government has also said that no IBC, no bankruptcy initiation, insolvency initiation under IBC for about a year, for next 1 year. So how positive it will be for the industry?
Prashant, आपका voice mute है.
Unmute yourself.
Mute yourself.
So I think the stage that we are in as an industry, any small move from the government would be a kind of lifeline. But if we look at the recent announcements in totality, now for example, let's say the moratorium period that has been given by RBI, plus 1 year extension of the IBC, and also the extension of all the benefits that are given under affordable housing, giving extension. All these 3 steps in totality would give some relief to the developers. number one, for 1 year at least, he will be assured that nobody is going to take him, even a small buyer or let's say any kind of creditor is not going to take him into the insolvency code. He has some relief in terms of repayment of his loan in form of moratorium given, and also RERA has also extended the deadline. So I think this is a temporary relief. At least this time would give the developer to at least find ways and means to kind of look beyond the immediate crisis. Otherwise, in the absence of these moves, I think a lot of his energy and resources would have been wasted in kind of trying to avoid somebody taking him to IBC. The questions coming from RERA about missing the deadline and pressure on a repayment of loans. So I think there is definitely a respite. But the unfortunate part is we are not sure that how long this lockdown is going to extend. Now, for example, a moratorium of 3 months would not mean anything if this lockdown continues for a longer period of time. The extension of, let's say, 3 months or 6 months given by RERA would mean nothing if the lockdown continues and we see shortage of laborers because most of them have migrated. So I think I would agree to what Deepak ji said, that we need to have a long period kind of announcement that gives a long highway to think and plan for the entire stakeholders.
Vikas, coming to you, how do you think the market will revive? How much these announcements are going to help, and what should be the incentive or the trigger point to revive the market?
So thanks, Palash, for inviting me and hosting these web series. See, the biggest challenge which the real estate sector was facing in the past was the consumer confidence. And the consumer confidence was lacking because of the delay in delivery of the projects. Now, the delay in delivery of the project is further aggravated because of earlier there was a ban from NGT. Now there is a lockdown because of COVID-19 situation. The project execution and delivery of the project is further getting extended. While this is a respite, all these announcements which the government has said, whether it is further infusion of liquidity in the market or it is extension of the completion period for the projects, or the IBC cannot be triggered for the next 12 months. These are definitely positive moves from the developer perspective, and it will help the developers to focus on the completion of the project. But I think the confidence booster from the consumer side is still missing. That trigger which will boost the consumer sentiment is still missing. And the consumer sentiment is further impacted because of the COVID-19 situation, because the environment is very, very negative. The lockdown is getting extended week after week. People are not sure of their job situation. People are not sure of their salary cuts and so on and so forth. So taking one of the largest buy in their life cycle will always going to be a very, very tricky situation or a decision for the consumer. So I think, as you said, what will be the trigger point? I think that while whatever the government has done are all welcome moves, I think the trigger point is how does the consumer sentiment from sitting on the fence to a buyer is a big move from the recovery of the market standpoint.
आदित्य, आप कुछ पूछना चाहेंगे?
जी बिल्कुल, दीपक सर को फिर से नमस्कार करना चाहता हूं। और दीपक सर, आपसे मुझे ये जानना था कि जो ये 20 लाख करोड़ का पैकेज अनाउंस किया गया है, इसमें कहीं से भी आपको लगता है कि जो कस्टमर है उसको कोई सेंटिमेंट में इम्प्रूव नजर आएगा इंडस्ट्री के प्रति? क्योंकि अगर हम इसको बिल्कुल सरल भाषा में बात करें तो जो हालात हैं उसमें आदमी फिलहाल खाने कमाने की सोचेगा, वो मकान लेने के बारे में नहीं सोचेगा। और जितनी बड़ी आबादी देश की है उसमें जो घर के ग्राहक हैं इस समय पर, उनमें जो नौकरी पेशा लोगों की तादाद सबसे बड़ी है। इन्वेस्टर्स को तो हम फिलहाल भूल ही चुके हैं कई साल से। अब एंड यूजर ही हमारे पास या आपके पास में जो है एक अच्छा जरिया था प्रॉपर्टी को सेल करने का। तो अब इस माहौल में जब सेंटिमेंट्स बहुत वीक होंगे, सैलरीज का ठिकाना नहीं है, ले ऑफ्स होंगे, सैलरी कट होनी शुरू हो जाएगी, तो ऐसे में कहाँ से कस्टमर आएंगे, किस तरीके से उनको लुभा पाएंगे? क्या प्रॉपर्टी प्राइस में कोई करेक्शन आप देखते हैं यहाँ पर?
देखिए, इसमें आपने आदित्य 2-3 क्वेश्चन पूछे हैं, तो
जी
मैं एक एक करके जवाब देता हूँ। सबसे पहले तो ये एक नया नॉर्मल है, न्यू नॉर्मल है, जिसको हम डिफाइन करते हैं, एंड इसमें किसी को भी नहीं मालूम कि ऐसा होना था। ये सबके लिए ऐसी सिचुएशन है जो एक new opportunity, new distress, new economic downtrend, and new economic evolution, I will call it. How it will shape up, only time will tell. I always say that now we are passing through a very dynamic environment and a dynamic process which changes week after week. So since you find there are a lot of changes happening week after week, so our thinking changes week on week basis. Having said that, I would say that the sentiments for buying a home have become more stronger. When we talk about the sentiments, emotional, buying a home has become very stronger because people across the world have seen that in such kind of situation, the best place to be in is your own home. So that is a biggest trigger which incites a curiosity and a call of action that if I do not have a home of my own, I must go and buy one. Now, having said that, the triggers are there. But if the consumer does not have money in his pocket, it remains a wishful fancy to be completed at a later date. But today, what is very important is the basic needs. So basic need is he has to take care of his job. He has to take care of that he gets a regular salary. And the economic cycle must continue to start moving, which the central government, our central government, as well as all the state governments have by now realized it, that they cannot continue to lock down the situation and run that country or the state. So having said that, everybody is evolving and they are opening things slowly and steadily to make that economic cycle start moving in the right direction. So once it happens, it will definitely take some time and the market will come back to the corrected its previous normal. But the time frame, I cannot say it. We can only guess it right now, maybe 6 months to 9 months time. It's a wild guess. How the activities take place in coming 1 month or 2 months will redefine the path and the duration with which the demand will come. Demand is already there. People sitting on the fence, the inquiries have generated. You will see all the activities last 15 days. If you see, most of the real estate developers, since we belong to the Delhi NCR zone, so I'll talk about Delhi NCR zone. Most of the developers have started aggressively the new strategies of marketing and selling their reality stock, preferably homes. Starting from the smallest of the local developer to the national players, you will find everybody is active now on digital and they are offering certain schemes to entice the consumers to buy it now. The call of action is now. So it's not that the complete activity is halt. During the lockdown also, there are many people who have purchased their properties. And you rightly said that investor in this market has gone and it wasn't there before also. And it is now predominantly a end user market. So predominantly, since it is an end user market, so end user takes care of that in case he has got a resources and he is looking out for a good home, then this is the best time to buy because you get the best of the pricing, best of the payment plan options, which is being thrown open to the public by many developers across the board. So I find that with passage of time, the demand is there and there is a definite thought process that a person wants to buy it, but he will first see his own economical stability. Once his financial stability is established and he is getting his home loan approved, he will go and buy it. And the process has initiated, I can tell you, because we talk to the industry population, the sales have started happening.
No, so Palash, if I may add to this point, if you allow me to add a couple of points, I agree with Deepak ji here. And Aditya, as you rightly said, that what's the sentiment right now? So if we look at the last 60 days as a barometer of the consumer sentiment of demand or the consumer sentiment, when the lockdown announced, we saw a sudden decline in our in the activity on our platforms in terms of traffic, in terms of inquiries and visits and everything. And it fell sharply as deep as like 40-50% all across. And it was not us, but all across the platforms, we saw a similar decline, not only in real estate, but even in other industries as well. But what we have seen interestingly is, as Deepak ji rightly said, the sentiment or the demand still says, and people want to buy a home. We've seen the inquiries coming back onto the platform. We've seen the inquiries and the traffic is recovered almost 75 to 80% on the platform, and people have started searching the property. it's the confidence, whether it is their own financial stability or the confidence of the developers. When these two things get sorted out, I think the consumer will do that trigger and buy the property.
But because one thing, see, the consumer psyche is such that, as Aditya was saying and everybody is agreeing, that there are lots of job losses, salary cuts. The psyche of the consumer is such that everybody is saving money and everybody is spending on the necessity, bare minimum necessities, and nobody would like to take an additional burden of an EMI, of a home loan EMI or something like that. So you think the buyer will come out and spend such a huge amount and take his EMI burden at this juncture when there is a huge uncertainty on his job, on his regular salary and things like that?
So, Palash, there are two types of buyers in the market. One, buyers who are buying largely from their own resources. There is a lot of background noise coming.
So there is a rule. Hello, Vikas, if you allow me, there is a rule. All of us must mute ourselves, and whenever we want to speak, we unmute. We will have a fabulous audition, and the listening will be much better.
Thank you, Deepak ji.
Please continue.
Yeah. So Palash, what I was saying, that there are two types of consumers. One consumer which is taking a home loan and is relying a lot on his salaries or regular income to buy a home. These are the consumers which will definitely be cautious at least for the next quarter or two, till the time the situation gets more visible or comfortable to all of us in terms of the job security, in terms of the revival of the market, or getting our livelihood back. Because if you see, a lot of SMEs have suddenly realized that all their incomes have gone or vanished for the last 2 months because of lockdown situation. So those are the consumers which will stay on fence for next maybe a quarter or 2 quarters, unless and until we start the revival of the economic activity. But there is another set of buyers who have savings at their hand and they want to deploy that into the assets. They are the buyers who may even take a decision even in this situation because they want to park the money in the safest of the asset. And as an Indian consumer, we have always seen the real estate is probably the safest asset for parking your money. So these are the two types of consumers, and what activities we are seeing right now in the market are the second type of consumers. The first type of consumers, who has to rely largely on home loans and all, may probably wait for another quarter or so before making a decision.
Prashant, you see a consolidation happening now, a lot more consolidation with some smaller players being acquired by the bigger ones?
Before I answer that question, let me put few data points for all of us, so that then we can kind of ourselves analyze. If I say that consolidation is going to expedite, why do I say that? Now, if we look at the Indian residential real estate, in spite of being one of the largest employment generator, we contribute 6% to the GDP. Unfortunately, if you look at the representation of real estate as an industry in the market capitalization is below 1%. And the market controlled by top 10 developers, be it listed or let's say tier 1 developers, non-listed, they control only 10% of the market. So that means 90% of the real estate market was predominantly dominated by small, local, and unorganized players. So this is a huge disparity for an industry which has such a huge magnitude on the economy. Now, if you look at how the situations have changed, slowly we are moving from an era of unorganized to organized. So this entire industry, after the introduction of RERA, GST, Benami, and all those structural changes that were implemented, is slowly transitioning from an unorganized to more of a corporate structure. So the legal cost has increased, the compliance cost has increased, and then the cost of making error in terms of missing deadline, or let's say missing your payment to a lender, is quite high. And if you look at the current slowdown, and if you look at the uncertainty that this COVID-19 has brought in, I think the smaller players will not be able to survive because they are too stretched, that the balance sheet is too leveraged. And if you look at, you know, the organized player who have been very prudent in the way they kind of conceptualize the product, the kind of debt they have taken, the kind of approach they have followed in terms of launching a project. So things like, you know, doing a proper market research, proper feasibility study will not take the center stage, which can only be done by a bigger player. So in this scenario where the demand is very less, and, you know, also there's a push from the consumer. We did a consumer sentiment survey during this lockdown period on the actual buyers, and one thing emerged very clearly, that more than 65% of the people are willing to pay a slight premium and stick with a renowned developer with whom they have a better visibility on their track record, and they are assured about their delivery. So if you look at this connotation and the background, I think there is a, you know, renowned push towards the consolidation happening, and this will be good for the entire industry, because you know, as we, you know, might agree that demand is there. We are talking about a country which, you know, has a natural demand for housing. At one end, we are talking about 2 crores of housing deficit in urban India. On the other hand, we are talking about huge unsold inventory. So somewhere there is a mismatch. And if this mismatch is corrected, I think we will have that, you know, buyers coming back. In fact, you know, quickly with your permission, I, you know, like you to share some data points that we did, you know, a consumer survey on the actual home buyers on a huge database of almost 20,000 home buyers that we had. You know, we were surprised to see that 48% of the respondent believe that real estate is the safest asset class, because most of them would have seen their portfolio, stock portfolio kind of declining, going back to, you know, early 2010, huge fluctuation happening. And you know, there are a huge set of people in the millennial work group who are planning for early retirement. That means, you know, after 45, most of them would like to kind of, you know, pursue their dreams and not regular jobs. And in that scenario, securing a roof over their head becomes the priority. So there is a lot of behavioral shift happening. Now, for more than 2 months, the entire family has been locked into a house. Now they're paying attention to the finer details about, you know, the construction quality, the slope in the bathroom, you know, the need for a separate office space, or let's say working space. So need for functional home is also kind of taking a predominance. So the need is there. Now the renewed focus is also there, and the buyers are very clear that what they want, what is the budget segment that they're looking, what kind of developer they want to stick with. So I think post lockdown, if everybody gets their act together and we listen to the end user, I think we are looking at a, you know, a market which provides good amount of opportunity for all the stakeholders, be it like player like us, or let's say the developers. So I think this crisis, I think there's a lot of learning to be taken, and I think we are looking at a better regulated industry. But again, the catch is how long this pandemic extends.
You see consolidation happening, Prashant?
Yes, it has in fact already started to happen. And, you know, whatever I said that, you know, is the background for consolidation gaining momentum in coming years. It's what I'm trying to say is it's not a one-time phenomenon that only during this lockdown period will happen. It will be an ongoing phenomenon for next couple of years, till the time we, you know, the market is more or less kind of more structured and more organized.
Aditya?
हेलो प्रवीण जी, नमस्कार। आपसे एक सवाल था, मेरा 2 सवाल थे, लेकिन मैं क्या करके पूछना चाहता हूँ पहले आपसे। प्रवीण जी सुन पा रहे हैं मुझे?
हाँ जी, सुन पा रहा हूँ, बताइए।
हाँ प्रवीण जी, मेरा पहला सवाल ये था कि अभी जो प्रशांत ने जो डेटा की बात की, जिस तरह के उन्होंने ट्रेंड की बात की, मुझे आपसे सीधा ये जानना था कि इस बार अप्रैल में पूरा लॉकडाउन रहा और अभी तक भी लॉकडाउन का ही असर चल रहा है। 25 मार्च को नवरात्र में ये शुरू हुआ था। तो जो इन्होंने डेटा दिए हैं, जिस तरह का इन्होंने दिखाया है कि कस्टमर्स का इंटरेस्ट है, दे आर लुकिंग फॉर द प्रॉपर्टी, क्या आपको लगता है अगर आप कंपैरिजन करें लास्ट अप्रैल 2019 से अप्रैल 2020, कितना हम नीचे डाउनफॉल रहा है? 0 था ये, या कहीं कुछ इंक्वायरीज के रूप में या किसी भी फॉर्म में जो भी आपका तरीका होता है जानने का, क्या कस्टमर का रुझान कहीं दिखा? अगर हम आज 19 मई तक भी बात कर ले तो भी
देखिए, अप्रैल के महीने में तो नहीं दिखा रुझान, अगर हम सिर्फ अप्रैल की बात करें, बट मई और दिसंबर तक में इंक्वायरीज आने लगी हैं और रेडी टू मूव इन इन्वेंटरी की इंक्वायरीज ज्यादा है। आपकी तारीख में लोगों को कॉन्फिडेंस आने में टाइम लग रहा है जो अंडर इन्वेंटरी है, बट तैयार प्रॉपर्टी की इंक्वायरी इससे पहले, लॉकडाउन से पहले भी थी, आज भी है, अब शुरू हो गई दोबारा आनी। बट लॉकडाउन के पीरियड थोड़ा सा था इशू, लोग बात कर रहे हो तैयार नहीं थे प्रॉपर्टी या किसी भी बात के।
दूसरा मुझे आपसे ये जानना था कि मजदूरों का पलायन देश भर में एक बड़ी समस्या बनी हुई है और आप लोगों का बहुत सारा काम कंस्ट्रक्शन मजदूरों के भरोसे होता है। तो इसमें दो चीजें थी, एक तो ये कि जो एनसीआर में एनजीटी का बैन हर समय लगता है, लगभग वो 1 महीने का बैन होता है, 2 महीने भी खिंच जाता है कई दफे, उससे कितना आपका काम हैम्पर होता है, कितना डिले होता है। और इस बार जो अभी तक लॉकडाउन में चलने से लगभग 1.5-2 महीना बंद रहा, तो कितना आपको लगता है कि जो 6 महीने की राहत सरकार से मिली है ये काफी है? और जो मजदूर साइट पर रहेंगे सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग के साथ में क्या काम मैनेज हो पाएगा? रफ्तार पहले जैसी रहेगी? कंस्ट्रक्शन में आपको क्या लगता है पोजीशन में कितनी देरी हो सकती है?
देखिए, ये तो पहले एनजीटी का होता था कि 15 दिन के लिए बंद हुआ करता था। आज से 2 साल पहले की बात करें, 2-3 साल पहले। इस बार जैसे करीब 1.5 महीना या पौने 2 महीना लॉकडाउन रहा और वो 15-15 दिन करके बढ़ाया इन्होंने। उसकी वजह से बहुत सारे लोग चले गए और एक बार किसी भी साइट को बंद होने के बाद दोबारा मोबिलाइज करने के लिए कम से कम 3 महीने लगते हैं। तो आप ये मान के चलें, जो अक्टूबर नवंबर में जो बंद हुआ था, उसका जो इम्पैक्ट, जो लेबर ने वापस आना शुरू किया साइट्स पे, फरवरी में शुरू किया, मार्च में फिर हो गया ये लॉकडाउन। और अब कुछ लोगों ने, जैसे ज्यादातर डेवलपर्स ने साइट पर अपने कंस्ट्रक्शन पर लेबर को रोका हुआ था और सारी फैसिलिटीज भी प्रोवाइड कर रहे थे, फूड दे रहे थे, सैलरी दे रहे थे, सैनिटेशन कर रहे थे और मेडिकल फैसिलिटी प्रोवाइड कर रहे थे लोगों को। बट उसके बाद भी जैसे ही लॉकडाउन खुला है, कुछ लेबर तो पहले चली गई थी लॉकडाउन से जस्ट पहले या उस दौरान, बट काफी जो लेबर थी भी साइट पर, अब वो धीरे धीरे जाने की बात कर रही है। और कंस्ट्रक्शन ऐसा सेगमेंट है कि कंस्ट्रक्शन में अगर एक ही तरह की लेबर है, जैसे मैं अपने किसी साइट पे बात करूं कि 2000 लेबर है मेरे पास, 2000 में से अगर 200 लेबर कोई एक तरह की, जैसे कोई हमारे यहाँ प्रोसेस साइकिल चेन है पूरा साइकिल की तरह, जैसे एक पहले शटरिंग होगा, फिर बार बाइंडिंग वाले अलग होंगे, कंक्रीटिंग वाले लोग अलग होंगे। अगर एक भी तरह के लोग चले जाएंगे तो पूरा साइकिल रुक जाएगा, बाकी लेबर का रहना बेकार है। मेरी साइट पे ऐसा हुआ है पीछे अभी कि एक साइट पर 500 लेबर थी जिसमें 50 बार बाइंडर थे और सारे सब लोग चले गए। उसकी वजह से पूरा साइट ठप हो गया मेरा। तो अब जो आज लेबर आज वापस जा रही है, ऐसा नहीं है कि जो मार्च में लेबर गई थी होली पर वो वापस आने को तैयार है, बट वो अभी उसके लिए ट्रेन नहीं चल रही है। वो फाइनेंस में अपना सीएम टू सीएम कोशिश कर रहे हैं कि वो इस तरह की चीजें आने वाले टाइम के अंदर, 15 दिन के अंदर, 1 महीने के अंदर तैयार हो कि भाई जो ट्रेन लेके जा रही है लेबर को, वो लेके भी आए। बट वो लेके आने के बाद वो क्वारंटाइन कौन करेगा, क्या रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज होंगी डेवलपर की। अभी इन्होंने एमएचए की जो गाइडलाइंस है, जो जैसे आपने सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग की बात की है, कंस्ट्रक्शन में सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग का जो भी इनके नॉर्म्स हैं वो फॉलो कर रहे हैं। बट उसके बाद भी अगर किसी साइट पे कोरोना निकल आता है, वो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी पहले इन्होंने बोला था कि डेवलपर की है, वो एक या किसी जो एम्प्लॉयर की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है, वो बाद में इन्होंने करेक्ट कर दिया था। वो भी गलत था क्योंकि अब राष्ट्रपति भवन में निकल आया कोरोना, तो हम ये नहीं कह सकते कि राष्ट्रपति जी की ड्यूटी थी कि वो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी वो लें इस बात के लिए। तो बट ये साइट कंस्ट्रक्शन की जो आपने बात की थी, मुझे लगता है कि ये साल पूरा ऐसा निकल जाएगा। अब ये अभी दिवाली तक तो कुछ होने वाला नहीं है। आज लेबर जो जा चुकी है, जो आज कहीं 10% रह गई है, कहीं 15% रह गई है। तो मुझे लगता है इस बार जो इम्पैक्ट आएगा 31 मार्च तक, तो मान के चले अगले साल की 1 साल जो भी कोरोना की तरफ से, अब मुझे नहीं पता ये कितने दिन चलेगा। अगर हम ये मान के चले दिवाली के आसपास चीजें ठीक भी हो जाती हैं, तो ये मान के चले कि मार्च तक दोबारा कंस्ट्रक्शन स्टार्ट हो पाएगी। और जब भी एनजीटी के दौरान लॉकडाउन होता है, उसका इम्पैक्ट सीधा 6 महीने आता है, चाहे हम 1 महीने बंद करें, 1.5 महीने बंद करें। 10-15 दिन का, 5 दिन का फर्क नहीं पड़ता। बट अगर 15 दिन से ज्यादा या 1 महीने से ज्यादा अगर हम लॉकडाउन करते हैं, किसी भी साइट को बंद करते हैं, तो उसका इम्पैक्ट 6 महीने के लिए आता है कम से कम।
मुझे एक चीज और आपसे यहाँ जाननी थी। आपने कंस्ट्रक्शन संबंधित जो चिंताएं हैं, दिक्कतें वो बताई यहाँ पर। एक सप्लाई साइड की भी दिक्कत है, उसमें क्या आपको ये लगता है कि जो जैसे सीमेंट कंपनीज के बारे में कहा जा रहा है कि वो लोग कार्टेलाइजेशन कर रहे हैं, दाम बढ़ा रहे हैं, तो इस तरह से क्या और भी जो सप्लायर्स हैं वो भी सप्लाई में और कीमतों में मनमानी हरकतें करके उनको बढ़ा करके आपकी मुश्किलें बढ़ा रहे हैं? क्या ऐसा कुछ अनुभव है आपका?
देखिए, मनमानी की ये सबसे ज्यादा जो गुंडागर्दी करते हैं सीमेंट कंपनीज करती हैं, इस तरह की जो मनमानी करती हैं ये। और कार्टेल अगर बनता है इन्हीं का बनता है, बाकी लोगों का ऐसा नहीं है। बाकी लोगों का इम्पैक्ट जो रहता है, जैसे अभी पीछे डीजल के दाम बढ़ गए, तो उसका इम्पैक्ट अगर अगर 2 रुपए आता है किसी चीज पे, वो लोग 3 रुपए मांगते हैं। वो लोगों की मेंटालिटी ऐसी है कि अगर 2 रुपए बढ़ने के हिसाब, वो तो डीजल बढ़ गया, ये तो बढ़ाने पड़ेंगे दाम। बट वो डीजल का रेट भी 8 रुपए ऐसे टाइम पे बढ़ाया है, मुझे लगता है ये थोड़ा नाजायज है। अब जो एस्केलेशन की बात है, जैसे अभी पीछे हमने रेरा में बात की थी, अभी कुछ दिन पहले रेरा का जो 3rd सेमिनार था, उसमें भी ये बात थी कि जो एस्केलेशन क्लॉज है डेवलपर्स के ऊपर लगा दिया गया कि एस्केलेशन, जो भी प्राइस एस्केलेशन है वो डेवलपर को झेलना है। तो मुझे लगता है ये भी गलत है। एक लिमिट तक तो होना चाहिए कि 5%, 2%, 7% अगर हम लेके चलते हैं कि एस्केलेशन, जैसे अभी पीछे दीपक ने बताया, कोई भी साइकिल 2 साल से लेकर, नंबर ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट अपार्टमेंट पर डिपेंड करता है कि वो 2 साल से लेकर 5 साल चलता है कोई प्रोजेक्ट। अगर कोई प्रोजेक्ट 5 साल चलेगा और उसके अंदर कोई एस्केलेशन के मिनिमम तो हो सकता है कि 2 से 3%, 4%, 5% तक डेवलपर पे करेगा। अगर नॉर्मली अगर बहुत ज्यादा हाई हो जाएगा तो कौन डेवलप कर, मतलब मुझे लगता है लोग घर बनाना ही बंद कर देंगे। जैसे आज लेबर की बड़ी शॉर्टेज है, मुझे लगता है आने वाले टाइम के अंदर लेबर की जो कॉस्ट है काफी बढ़ने वाली है, तो वो एस्केलेशन वाला जो इशू है वो भी हमें एड्रेस करना पड़ेगा रेरा के अंदर।
Okay. Before taking our questions, we'll also start taking viewers' question. There is a viewer called Vishwajit Singh. Deepak, this question is for you. He is asking, can we push for simplified design and cost-effective and optimizing the design structure, and to see how cost-effective it can be, and using prefab technology to reduce stress on buildings and things like that. He is thinking how you are planning to optimize by using such technologies and bringing the cost down.
Yes, Abhijit, my answer to your question would be yes, it is very much possible. But having said that, it is possible at the drawing board stage. When we plan a new project, all these things, all these factors are taken into account at that level. And then we create a brief synopsis before starting a project. There we incorporate all the smart designs, new designs, functional wellness concept, technologies, cast in situ or prefabricated, all these factors, cost analysis, cost, time, variance, everything we evaluate at the start of the project. But once the project has already started, all the pre-briefings are fixed. Then during that process, it is very difficult to make changes. And more so now, since our industry is regulated by RERA, that change is also not allowed, not permissible. So whatever has been planned and it is there in the production cycle, you cannot change it. But yes, today, if I have to plan a project to be launched next year, I will incorporate all the factors that you mentioned and which I mentioned just now, and take a brief note about this, and then we plan and deliver and start launching a product in that direction.
Prashant, rupee has depreciated a lot. So you see more NRIs coming in and investing in properties in India?
See, it's a kind of, a catch-22 situation for them. So though the rupee has kind of, depreciated, and kind of, there's a lot of people who are looking at Indian property with a renewed focus. They are also losing their jobs. They are very kind of, these are very uncertain times for them. But again, we have seen good amount of interest coming from NRI buyers, because they would have accumulated money, which, while coming back, first thing they would need is a house. So I think it's a positive move, and a lot of NRIs have shown interest. It's, if you look at our own data that at Unrock we have, in terms of inquiries from NRI, it has kind of increased a lot. But again, how strong that is going to be also depends on the kind of job certainty they have.
Okay. One question to both Deepak and Praveenji. Deepak, would you look at buying out stress projects or incomplete semi-finished projects? Is this an opportunity for you?
Well, the market offers always some distress and some opportunities. This is what I started with. Currently, as far as my organization goes, we are very focused in whatever we have in hand. We like to first complete it, deliver it. We have projects like Gulshan Balina, Gulshan Botnia, and a commercial property on the expressway, which is on the nearing completion. So earlier, our time frame was that by the end of this year, we were to hand over the possession of these properties, and the Biliana, especially during these 3 months. But as you know, the current situation is that there's a lot of migration of labor. Though during lockdown, we have nurtured more than 700 laborers at one site with all the facilities and government provisions. But today, after 1 week of opening, my labor has reduced from 700 to 200. So 500 people have gone back to their hometowns. So I'm finding it difficult that whatever commitment we had given to our consumers, how do I fulfill that? The project is nearing possession. Only last mile completion activities are to be finished. But every day there's a challenge, and there is a movement of labor from the sites to their hometown. So this is what is a challenge which we are facing it, but we are very sure and we remain focused. But having said that, there are a number of companies with who are looking at buying out the stress asset and the amalgamation, joint ventures. That will be the new norm. It has not started. The thought process has started, but you will find the transactions happening 6 months down the line. You will see the transactions started happening in this direction.
प्रवीण जी, मैं एक और व्यूअर का क्वेश्चन लूंगा. हमारी एक व्यूअर है वंदना चुग. उन्होंने पूछा है, हाउ एंड व्हाट एक्सटेंट ऑफ चेंजेस इज द इंडस्ट्री प्लानिंग टू इंट्रोड्यूस इन अपार्टमेंट बायर्स एग्रीमेंट नाउ दैट वी नो definitely there is going to be severe impact on construction which can go even beyond 1 year as we are dealing with uncertainty.
देखिए, रेरा के अंदर आने के बाद चेंजेस, एक बार कोई भी एग्रीमेंट साइन होने के बाद चेंजेस पॉसिबल नहीं है. जैसे कंस्ट्रक्शन में भी चेंजेस पॉसिबल नहीं है. रेरा में हम लोग ये बाइंडिंग इस तरह की है कि जो भी एग्रीमेंट बनता है उसकी कॉपी रेरा में रजिस्टर्ड होती है, उसके बाद फिर बायर के साथ साइन होता है. तो हम लोग कभी भी किसी भी स्टेज पर चेंज तो नहीं हो सकता. हाँ, वो जैसे 6 महीने का एक्सटेंशन हमें मिला है, मुझे लगता है कि वो पूरा नहीं, कम है. तो बट वो आने वाले टाइम के अंदर इसमें टाइम लिमिट हमने 1 साल की रिक्वेस्ट की थी गवर्नमेंट को. अगर इस तरह से चलता है अभी 1-2 महीने और अगर ये और लंबा चलेगा तो शायद एक साल से ज्यादा बढ़ाना पड़ेगा. बट एग्रीमेंट में कोई चेंजेस पॉसिबल नहीं है. बट ये मान के चलें कि ये 1 साल से 1.5 साल प्रोजेक्ट डिले होंगे, जो भी कोविड की वजह से, इससे ज्यादा डिले नहीं होंगे.
एक सवाल मेरा है प्रशांत और विकास दोनों, अब दोनों लोगों से. सवाल ये है कि अभी जिस तरह का माहौल है, फिजिकल जो साइट्स पर विजिट होती हैं वो तो बिल्कुल ही बंद हो गए हैं. आप ऑनलाइन विजिट में क्या ट्रेंड देख पा रहे हैं? किस तरह का आपने देखा है कि लोग ने इंटरेस्ट दिखाया है और कितना उसमें जो परसेंटेज है वो कन्वर्ट हो पा रहा है? और दूसरा, मुझे आपसे ये भी जानना था एक चीज कि जो डिस्काउंट्स है उसका दायरा किस तरह से आप अभी और आगे आने वाले दिनों में बढ़ता हुआ देख रहे हैं?
तो प्रशांत, आप मैं बोलूं पहले?
हाँ विकास, आप बोल लीजिए.
ओके. सो आदित्य, जो आपने क्वेश्चन पूछा, सी ये if I may call it, I will say this is a blessings in disguise. Due to this COVID-19 situation, we will see massive adoption of digital platforms and massive adoption of technology as an outcome of this COVID situation. In the last 2 months, what we have seen as an organization, as I initially mentioned, we saw a decline in our traffic, decline in our inquiries and so on and so forth in the initial first 2 weeks. But then we started seeing the recovery of the traffic and inquiries coming back onto the platform. It was on the back of a couple of things. One, we actually started doing a lot of online showcasing of projects with a lot of our developer partners and customers while sitting at home actually shown a lot of interest in those digital viewing of the properties. I think that is a trend which we will going to see will become a new normal going forward. Before a customer actually goes and see the site, they would like to see the digital view of that site to understand that geography, to understand what are the projects in that vicinity and so on and so forth, and shortlist 1 or 2 projects which they would definitely like to go and visit that project, meet the developers and so on and so forth. That's one important trend which we have seen. The other trend which we have seen, interestingly, is that the customer is a lot more inclined in listening to the developer representatives or the representatives or intermediaries on a platform like this. So we've hosted a lot of webinars on our platform where all our developer partners came onto the platform, explained what the project actually delivers and what the project brings onto the table for the customer, and customers showed a lot of interest on that. And out of those webinars, we saw a lot of expression of interest or online booking of the properties on the platform. So that's a trend which is an encouraging trend, and I see it as a blessing. So I'm very hopeful that this digital adoption will only going to increase from here onwards.
I completely agree with Vikas what he has said, that this is a huge opportunity for players like us as well as for developers. And the reason I say that is that even before this COVID-19 and even with this renewed focus of digitalization, 80% of the home buying journey for any buyer used to start online. They would go, first thing they would go is go on the Google and look for certain basic information, and the entire value chain, right from in-depth inquiry, looking at all the collaterals and doing the site visit, the entire value chain was not digitalized. Now during this process, what everybody has realized, even the developers, even players like us, intermediaries like us, that this is going to be the new norm. And if we don't come up with something that will enable us to do business, do transaction in this period of time, we all will suffer a lot. So that's why everybody, player like us, for what Vikas mentioned, even developers are now kind of adopting digitalization. So we as Anurag, we have also kind of done a lot of transaction digitally. So where customer is kind of coming on digitally, looking at all those collaterals, having a good conversation through webinar where the developer representation is also happening. And that gives it's more comfort, and also it's kind of a good differentiating factor for a buyer. I don't think any small time local player would be able to kind of adopt to this technology so quickly. And that also acts as a first level of filter for the home buyers, that a developer who has adopted technology, because technology also brings in a lot of transparency. So I think this is the first level of filter that the buyer does automatically in his mind. And that's a learning that all the developer friends should take. So in my opinion, it is going to be the new norm. Even if the lockdown opens, people would be a bit hesitant to come on the site. And I think it is for the best interest for the developers also not to kind of allow that madness. Just imagine if a person who is a corona positive and he infects the site, the entire site would be kind of quarantined. And then again, you go back to where you started. So I think the digitalization and this online thing is here to stay in a new format. And I think the balance would kind of be a good mix of digital as well as site visits, because we all know that over a long period of time, when you're finally making the transaction, at some point of time, you would like to do the site visit. But the entire value chain needs to be digitalized and adopted. So, to answer to your question, Aditya ji, I think ये new norm रहेगा. लोग इसको बहुत तेजी से अडॉप्ट भी कर रहे हैं और डेवलपर्स भी अडॉप्ट कर रहे हैं. सबसे खुशी की बात ये है.
इसमें डिस्काउंट्स का सवाल छूट गया है मेरे ख्याल से कि डिस्काउंट्स किस तरीके के.
डिस्काउंट देखिए बहुत ही ट्रिकी चीज. अगर आप ये देखिए पिछले 7 साल से प्राइस बिल्कुल बढ़ा ही नहीं है. अगर आप इन्फ्लेशन को दिमाग में रखें और जिस तरह से कॉस्ट ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन अब बढ़ेगी, आप देखिए सप्लाई चेन टूट चुका है, लेबर कॉस्ट बढ़ जाएगा, कंप्लायंस कॉस्ट बढ़ चुका है. सो मेरे ख्याल से डिस्काउंट एक जो है प्राइस तो अभी बहुत ही नीचे है. टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट, मैं बाइस की तरफ से बोल रहा हूँ. अगर आप देखिए इंटरेस्ट रेट, होम लोन भी हिस्टोरिकली लो है. और जहां तक रही बात रेडी टू मूव इन इन्वेंट्री, वो डिपेंड करता है डेवलपर के ऊपर. ये एक जेनरिक कमेंट मैं नहीं दे सकता कि नहीं डिस्काउंट मिलना चाहिए. दैट डिपेंड्स ऑन द होल्डिंग पावर ऑफ द डेवलपर. पर मेरे ख्याल से प्राइस काफी ऑलरेडी करेक्ट हो चुका है. 7 साल से अगर प्राइस बढ़ा नहीं है, अगर आप इन्फ्लेशन को ले लीजिए, तो मेरे ख्याल से एक तरह का करेक्शन ही है. और जहां तक बात रही, आई थिंक discounting depends on lot on the developers holding power also, and what kind of scheme they want to offer.
Yeah, so if I may add, Aditya, जो प्रशांत ने बोला, I agree. I think discounts आज के मार्केट के हिसाब से थोड़ा सा feasible नहीं है, because अगर आप पिछले 5 साल से देखें प्रॉपर्टी प्राइसेस नहीं बढ़े. हमारी जो रिपोर्ट भी अभी लॉन्च हुई थी 2 महीने पहले, उसमें भी अगर आप देखें तो सिर्फ एक हैदराबाद एक ऐसा मार्केट है जहां पर कि 7% का एप्रिसिएशन देखा गया, और उसके कारण बिल्कुल डिफरेंट है. हैदराबाद मार्केट में काफी डाउनटर्न था पिछले 8 से 10 सालों में बिकॉज ऑफ द जियोपॉलिटिकल एनवायरनमेंट. तो जब वो सॉल्व हुआ तो मार्केट ने थोड़ा सा अपटिक देखा प्राइसिंग में एंड ओवरऑल एक्टिविटी में. तो अगर हम हैदराबाद को एक्सक्लूड कर दें तो सभी बड़े शहरों में प्राइसेस फ्लैट है. तो अगर आप इसमें इन्फ्लेशन बेक इन करें जो ऑन एन एवरेज 5% रहता है इंडिया में, तो आपकी प्राइस ऑफ द प्रॉपर्टी एनीवेज इज डिस्काउंटेड बाय ऑलमोस्ट 25%, राइट, ओवर द लास्ट 5 years. तो यहाँ पर डेवलपर्स से डिस्काउंट एक्सपेक्ट करना थोड़ा सा मेरे को लगता है feasible नहीं होगा, especially in this situation when the costs are going up. And costs are going up because of the reasons beyond the control of the developer, whether it is NGT, now it is COVID, now labor related issues, and so on and so forth. I think as a consumer, I would suggest all the consumers to look for the reliable deals rather than a discounted deal. Look for a deal where they will get eventually the delivery of the property rather than getting into a distressed deal where the developer might sell the property at a discounted price, but they may not be able to deliver the property eventually. That will further shaken the confidence of the consumer.
मैं इसमें एक बात ऐड करना चाहूंगा जो अभी प्रशांत ने और विकास ने बताया. उसमें यह है कि जो डिस्काउंट की बात कर रहे हैं, 2012-2013 में एक अच्छा टाइम था मार्केट का. 2013 के बाद से अगर देखें डाउन ट्रेंड ही है, और अब 2020 चल रहा है. 7 साल हो गए. जैसे 5% इन्फ्लेशन की बात की है, 35% डिस्काउंट तो डायरेक्टली मिलता ही है. इसके अलावा आज जो भी जितने भी डेवलपर्स हैं, अगर दिल्ली एनसीआर की मैं बात करूं तो दिल्ली एनसीआर में ज्यादातर बिल्डर्स स्ट्रेस में हैं, और पिछले 2-3 साल से हर एक डेवलपर की कोशिश यही है कि हम किसी ना किसी तरह से प्रोजेक्ट को पूरा करें। कैश फ्लो क्रंच है उनके पास, और जो मैक्सिमम डिस्काउंट दे सकते थे वो पिछले 2 साल से वो कोशिश में लगे हैं कि वो अपने प्रोजेक्ट को किसी भी तरह से पूरा करें, चाहे वो प्राइस पे कम पे बिके प्रॉपर्टी। और आज अगर नया प्रोजेक्ट उसी जगह पर, सेम लोकेशन पर, जहां पर दिल्ली एनसीआर में किसी भी लोकेशन की बात करें, कोई नया प्रोजेक्ट कंसीव करना हो मुझे, तो जो लैंड कॉस्ट है, अप्रूवल कॉस्ट है और कंस्ट्रक्शन कॉस्ट है, अगर तीनों का सिम कर लें, छोड़ दीजिए ओवरहेड्स को या प्रॉफिट के डेवलपर्स को, अगर ये जो आज जो प्रॉपर्टी अवेलेबल है, ये लैंड कॉस्ट इसमें पूरी नहीं होती, मतलब अब ये तीनों चीजों का सम कर लें, वो उतने पैसे भी आज डेवलपर्स में पूरे नहीं आ रहे। ये तो ये है कि चलो 2 पुरानी जमीनें खरीदी हुई हैं, या आज डेवलपर्स के ऊपर ये है कि 15% का 18% का डेट चल रहा है, उसको उससे बाहर निकलना है, या प्रोजेक्ट पूरा करना है, रेरा के कंप्लाइंस है, बहुत सारी चीजें हैं। अदरवाइज आज नया प्रोजेक्ट सेम लोकेशन पे कंसीव करने के लिए वो प्रोजेक्ट की कॉस्ट जो है, जो घर में डेवलपर को पड़ती है, वो 30-40% ज्यादा बढ़ती है। तो मुझे लगता है कि आने वाले टाइम के अंदर ये बेस्ट टाइम है प्रॉपर्टी परचेज करने के लिए, और ये टाइम ऐसा रहेगा नहीं हमेशा। और 7 साल 8 साल हो चुके हैं, कोविड भी निकल जाएगा, 1-1.5 साल की बात है, 2 साल की बात है, बट ये टाइम दोबारा लौट के नहीं आएगा प्रॉपर्टी में। जो बायर्स के लिए बेस्ट टाइम है प्रॉपर्टी परचेज करने के लिए।
प्रवीण जी, हम लोग वैसे तो पिछले 5-6 साल से यही कह रहे हैं कि दिस इज द बेस्ट टाइम टू बाय। ये बेस्ट टाइम अभी चल ही रहा है हमारा काफी टाइम से, बट
इतना लंबा की उम्मीद कभी भी किसी को नहीं थी कि इतना लंबा हो जाएगा। मतलब ये तो बस सब लोग, अभी कई बार हम लोग आपस में बात करते हैं तो ये तो सब लोग वेंटिलेटर पर हैं, वो सिचुएशन आ गई है डेवलपर्स की, तो ये सर्वाइवल की बात है। मतलब अभी तो चीजें ऐसी चल रही हैं कि भाई आदमी सोचता है कि चलो 2 साल और निकल जाए तो बेटर है, अदरवाइज ये इतना लंबा चलना नहीं था कभी भी।
Now we'll take more viewer questions. Now there are media questions also coming. Manvendra from PTI is asking to both the developers, will builders cut advertisement on papers and TV channels and increase budget on digital mediums? Deepak ji and Praveen ji, both, this question is for both of you.
Okay, तो इसका प्रवीण जी अगर अलाउ करें तो मैं आंसर दूं। तो इसमें मेरा कहना ये है, हाँ जी, इसमें मेरा कहना ये है कि यस, आज की ताजा खबर, today's latest innovation is be adaptive and be adjust to the new normal. So today the new normal is most of the population is available on digital media. All digital companies are vouching for it, and that is why we all have gone digital. So that is the new normal. If the population will move on the roads and use the traditional channels, then some percentage of the media spend will definitely go into the traditional channels. But today it's a sheer wastage, as if the movement is very, very limited. So wherever the traffic is, the advertiser, the manufacturer, the developer has to be there in that platform. And that's why most of the spend today on promotion is on digital media only.
No, Deepak, what was the percentage, as in what was the percentage pre-COVID in say of a total ad spend? How much was into digital and non-digital, and how much is the ratio going to change post-COVID?
I cannot give you the exact measurement and the verification of that percentage, but having said that, I'll give you an ideation. The ideation is that going from the last 5 years, digital spend was 0 and the other spend was 100. So the moment of digital spend started increasing from 0 to 5% to 10% to 20%. In today's space, before the COVID, that digital spend was approximately on an average around 30%, 35%, and the rest was in the offline medias. But during this lockdown period, all the offline medias are off. So 100% spend is on digital media only in the current. Now going forward, post-COVID, as the states open up the movement of population across all verticals and all places, then I would say that the ratio would be reversed. The digital will take, out of 100 rupees, digital should take around 70 rupees, and the other medias put together combined should take 30 rupees. So that will be the ratio going forward, but not in the immediate future. This will take some time, but eventually the future belongs to digital world. And as we said, that all the developers are also adding on the technologies, and they will remain in line if they adopt very fast to the technologies. Having said that, I will add one more factor into this. When we talk about demographic segregation, so in demographics, if we are talking about young millennials, yes, technology is the platform. But if we talk about the population which is young at heart, they are not that much of tech savvy. So a combination of both will happen. So they'll have to depend upon their family members or young millennials to understand the property and then take a consented decision. In today's cultural fabric of India, if it is a joint family and if your parents are there, then even the young millennials do take consent of their parents before entering into a property transaction. So there'll be always a mix of digital versus offline or versus physical touch, but that percentage will vary depending upon the cultural diversity and the demographics of an individual consumer.
Now there is one more question from Manavendra for all three of you. This one is for Vikas also, apart from Praveenji and Deepakji. How much job losses are going to happen in the real estate industry, job losses and salary cuts? And also if you could tell about your own respective companies.
I start with it, then the rest of the panelists can add on.
Deepakji, please go ahead.
The rest of the panelists can add on. The job losses is a worldwide phenomena. You have seen across the world the job losses happening. What is happening is today you are locked down for almost 45 plus days, 50 days. So what is happening is there is no influx. All the production capabilities, all the economic cycle is put to a halt. How long you can continue to feed the population? You cannot. It is not possible. So everybody is thinking of trimming and making the organization lean and working with the bare minimum staff to let the organization continue to live and perform its objective, which is very essential today. So it is very difficult to say percentage wise. Now it comes to my organization. So we also thought that around 10 to 15% of the population will also request them that once this period is over, we'll tell them that it will be difficult for us to continue to work with you. So you need to find out different places to work. And when the situation comes back to normal, we will again invite you. So certain cases, there'll be resignation. The certain cases, there'll be leave without pay. This is what is the orientation the organizations are adopting into.
प्रवीण जी, जॉब लॉसेस पर आपका क्या कहना है? एक तो इंडस्ट्री में कैसा हुआ, आप नरेडको के बड़े एक्टिव मेंबर है, आपको बाकी डेवलपर्स से भी पता चलता होगा, और आपके यहाँ पे जॉब लॉसेस, सैलरी कट्स हुए हैं?
देखिए, सैलरी कट्स तो हमारे यहाँ नहीं हुए, बट जॉब लॉसेस काफी हुए हैं। और जैसे बताया अभी दीपक ने कि भी अभी मुझे लगता है आने वाले 1 साल के अंदर कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट पर भी एक्टिविटीज, जैसे अभी हम बात कर रहे थे कि लेबर नहीं है साइट के ऊपर, और उस बड़ा मुश्किल है, मतलब सभी के लिए मुश्किल है, पूरे देश के लिए, पूरी दुनिया के लिए। तो सभी को इसमें थोड़ा एडजस्ट करना पड़ेगा। जॉब लॉसेस हर जगह हो रहे हैं। मैं ये नहीं कहना चाहता कि जैसे किसी के यहाँ कम है, किसी के यहाँ ज्यादा है, बट जॉब लॉसेस है।
एक सवाल मुझे पूछना था, एक सवाल। अच्छा, विकास जी से बात पूछ लीजिए पहले।
So, पलाश, अगर मैं मानवेंद्र जी के क्वेश्चन का आंसर करूं, तो जैसा कि प्रवीण जी ने और दीपक जी ने बोला, जॉब लॉसेस, सैलरी कट्स, ये गिवन है इस सिचुएशन में। इसको हमें बहुत नेगेटिवली नहीं देखना चाहिए, बिकॉज अगर बिजनेस इज सफरिंग, एट द एंड ऑफ द डे यू हैव टू मेंटेन अ फाइन बैलेंस, राइट? तो अगर मैं अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की बात करूं, तो हमारा व्यू पॉइंट जो है, हमारा व्यू पॉइंट है इट्स एन इकोसिस्टम, and this ecosystem has to survive for everyone else to survive, or every member of this ecosystem has to survive, whether it is the company or it is an employee or all the vendors who are working with this company. So I think all of us need to take a hit in terms of this very, very unprecedented and a unique situation, and we should not expect one person to take that complete hit, whether it is an employee or it is the company or it is a particular vendor. So it is a collective this thing. We all should take a hit and move on and deal with this unprecedented situation. That's how we are dealing with it.
आदित्य,
हाँ, मुझे ये जानना था कि बहुत सारी खबरें चल रही हैं, there are several news floating around that several companies from China will shift into India. तो अगर ऐसा होता है, इसके कई मायने हैं। एक बड़ा तो इसका ये है कि इन्वेस्टमेंट आएगा, यहाँ जॉब्स होंगे, तो प्रॉपर्टी की जो बिक्री है उसमें हम इंक्रीज देख पाएंगे। लेकिन साथ में क्या किसी तरीके का टेक्नोलॉजी ड्रिवन चेंज भी हमको नजर आता है कि कुछ यहाँ कंस्ट्रक्शन टेक्नोलॉजी इंप्रूव होगी, सेल्स टेक्नोलॉजी इंप्रूव होगी? कुछ इन मुद्दों पर मुझे आपसे जानना था। आप में से जो भी बताना चाहें, क्योंकि टाइम शायद कम है, तो शायद 1-2 लोग ही बता पाएंगे।
प्रवीण जी, आप देंगे जवाब?
जी देखिए, टेक्नोलॉजी के ऊपर ये तो सबको अडॉप्ट करनी पड़ेगी, नई नई टेक्नोलॉजी जो भी आ रहे हैं। और मुझे लगता है कि हम लोग भी देख रहे हैं इसके कि जहाँ पर कम से कम लेबर का इन्वॉल्वमेंट हम कर पाए किसी भी कंस्ट्रक्शन साइट पर भी। जैसे पहले हम कन्वेंशनल तरीके से कंस्ट्रक्शन करते थे, अब मैक्सिमम ज्यादातर डेवलपर्स ने माइवन के ऊपर करना शुरू कर दिया है, एल्यूमिनियम फोम शटरिंग पे कर रहे हैं, पूरी कंक्रीट की वॉल है, एक ही बार बिल्डिंग फिनिश होकर निकलती है। तो उसके अंदर भी क्या और हम बेटर टेक्नोलॉजी यूज कर सकते हैं जिसमें जो लेबर की डिपेंडेबिलिटी कम हो जाए, क्योंकि आने वाला टाइम जो है टेक्नोलॉजी बेस्ड ही है। तो सभी लोग इसके ऊपर काम कर रहे हैं।
Prashant, Vikas, one question to you both. You think in these circumstances foreign funds will come and rescue the residential sector? Is this a good opportunity for them?
It's a very good question, actually. See, we have to look at it from two angles. So first of all, India definitely will always remain high on these PE funds and then other foreign funds. But we also need to understand that this coronavirus has also brought down the value of various assets in their home country as well. So over there also, they are kind of getting good investment opportunities. This is one part. Second is a lot of sovereign funds that were very active in Indian real estate space. They are also kind of right now taking a pause momentarily because they have to also service to their home obligation, because their government is also announcing a lot of bailout packages for the economy, and that's where the sovereign funds play a major role. So this is one aspect of it. But again, looking at a pure risk reward point of view, because my belief is that the capital always looks at a good return and investment opportunity, which India does provide. So once we have clarity and where lot of Indian assets will also be at a very compelling rate, I think we will see good amount of foreign funds coming in. And also it will be coupled with just to answer to the question that Aditya asked, that lot of talks floating around that a lot of Chinese manufacturing units will come here. I think that is also a long-term story that will play out. It's not that tomorrow the companies will start to come and we'll see everything coming back to normal. But this is going to happen for sure because of a couple of reasons. If we look at all those major world events that had happened, be it swine flu, or let's say the Great Depression, or let's say the 2008 financial crisis, it has always changed some kind of world order. So I think India is set to benefit because if we look at our demography, we also have a huge internal consumption based equivalent to China that provides a ready-made market for any company that is planning to set its manufacturing base. We are equally enjoy the strategic location as China from point of any manufacturing base that comes out. We provide a lot of exporting opportunity for them. So we will see, but the only key that I keep on telling during various of my speaking assignment, that if we are able to sustain this year, I think India is looking at a very bright future. But the only key is that how do we sustain this to 2020? So in my opinion, yes, the foreign funds will look at India at a different angle. We'll always remain attractive. For the entire ecosystem, I think we need to kind of really shed a lot of flaps that we have accumulated during the good times, because we know that this time is going to be, this couple of quarters is going to be extremely difficult, but what we see at the end of the tunnel is equally attractive. And the hard fact is that not everyone will make at the other side of the tunnel, but whosoever makes it, I think it's going to be a good opportunity. I hope I have summed up the question and the answer that you're looking at it.
I'll take one more viewer question. This is specifically for Deepak Kapoor. Prashant from Mayur Vihar, Delhi is asking, what are you doing to maintain social distancing, especially in your group housing societies?
There are a lot of activities. The complete guideline is given by government and Ministry of Home Affairs and on WHO website. So what we are doing is we have created those circles, which is there. So we encourage a lot of trainings given to the security personnel stationed there, housekeeping staff, the use of mask, the use of spectacles or the shield, and regularly and time-bound washing of hands with the soap, whatever the basic requirement of maintaining social distancing, that we have created slides. We have in both the languages, Hindi and English. So we provide complete guidelines. We have created COVID marshals as directed by the state government at each group housing at each site, and they regularly are there to train the complete emergency services and population who's working 24/7 to ensure that societies who are having residents and living societies, they remain very safe from the corona. And so far we've been very successful in maintaining the society at a safe zone. So very stringent audit has been there, and even the residents are also very positive, coming out very well and ensuring that we all follow the standard norms of social distancing. At sites also, wherever we have started the small construction activity, we have created right from day one the temperature recording, then hand sanitization, washing of hands timely, and we're not allowing anybody to sit. We have created a new normal. We said that you stand and do meeting. Conclude your topic of discussion within 10 minutes and disperse at your location. Do not sit at one place. Do not share any food, any tea. We have stopped. We say that just drink hot water, add some lemon into it. So we have created a complete protocol digitally, and we have provided that to all the site in charges to be propagated down the line. So this is what we are doing at construction sites, and I've shared with you what we have done at the sites where the population is living.
Deepak, since you are also coming up with a luxury project, you think after the COVID thing, people who were thinking of buying a koti will now prefer a luxury housing project, a housing complex due to safety issues?
Well, to touch upon that concept, the ideation is that if you see economic strata, which is the most hit, only lower strata of economic population, middle level, they are the most hit. People at a luxury segment, they have had a hit, but they are still stabilized because they have the financial backing with them. So they would like to now experience and expose themselves to a better homes, better sized homes. And now there's a new normal. You need to have an office space within your home with which you can conceptualize and work from home concept. Wellness home where you can do all your activities. And in that luxury project, what we added is that there are a lot of social distancing, as if the density is very low. There are only 200 units in a span of 6 acres of the property. So all these parameters motivate population, that especially people who are living on floors in East Delhi as well in South Delhi, where they're living in very cramped floors. The pricing point is very high, but they have no facility. When they open the window, they see others' window or in the lane across. And even in the stilt area, a lot of cars are parked. So in case I have to move out, I have to request my neighbor to remove his car, only then I'll be able to move out. So there are a lot of hardships. A lot of population is enjoying it, especially in East Delhi and South Delhi, where there is a provision of floors living. So that is the right kind of audience. They will be thinking about that, how to upgrade their standard of living, how to live with maintaining social distancing norm, because it is not going to go away. For coming 1 to 2 years, this norm will be prevail, and now it will become a part of habit. I will take you to a small detour from this exercise, that when we used to visit foreign country, we used to see anywhere, if there's a queue, they naturally maintain a social distancing and stand, which was never a norm in India and around the country. When we make a queue, when we stand in line, we stand touching each other. But it is a blessing in disguise. The COVID has taught us we need to stand apart, 3 feet distance from one person, so that that person is also safe and we are also safe. So these new normal will evolve, and all the parameters. So people who have that means and resources, they will definitely prefer to shift from the cramped houses to very well planned, very well ventilated, very well lighted housing complex. And that's where our luxury project offers them a perfect answer.
We are getting a lot of viewers question. We'll not be able to take all, but we'll take a few more. Pradeep ji, Vandana hai hamari viewer, wo पूछ रही हैं, how is industry planning to meet commitments for various schemes launched by the developers, such as assured returns, subvention, pay 10% and pay 90% later. इस तरह की जितनी भी स्कीम्स है, अब उन कमिटमेंट्स को बिल्डर्स कैसे पूरा कर पाएंगे?
देखिए, सबवेंशन स्कीम तो पहले भी गवर्नमेंट ने, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ फाइनेंस ने एक गाइडलाइन निकाली थी कि वो पॉन्जी स्कीम में आती है, बट हम तो गवर्नमेंट से दोबारा रिक्वेस्ट कर रहे हैं कि सबवेंशन स्कीम दोबारा स्टार्ट की जाए, क्योंकि उसमें आज डेवलपर्स को ये फायदा है कि वो टाइम से पेमेंट आती रहती है, बैंक उसको फाइनेंस कर देता है, और बायर को ये फायदा है कि बायर को इंटरेस्ट और ईएमआई दोनों साथ नहीं देने, सॉरी ईएमआई और घर का किराया दोनों साथ नहीं देना पड़ता, तो बायर के लिए बेनिफिट है। और बायर बिल्डर डेवलपर को भी मालूम है कि टाइमली उसको पेमेंट आती रहेगी, और बाकी जो उसको जो ईएमआई स्टार्ट होगी जो ऑन कंप्लीशन ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट होगी, और डेवलपर को भी होगा कि हर महीने उसको क्योंकि ईएमआई देनी पड़ रही है तो वो प्रेशर में होगा कि टाइम से डिलीवरी कर पाए। बट मुझे लगता है कि आने वाले टाइम के अंदर मिनिस्टर ऑफ फाइनेंस इसको अप्रूव कर देगी।
विकास
जी
ठीक, हाँ प्रवीण जी,
आपने 2 क्वेश्चन पूछा था, एक का मैंने दूसरा मुझे समझ नहीं पाया क्या था।
नहीं यही इन्हीं सब स्कीम्स को कैसे करेंगे, सब मेंशन हो गया, 10% अभी दीजिए, 90% जब फ्लैट में मूव करेंगे तब देंगे, तो ये सब अब कमिटमेंट्स आप लोग पूरा कर पाएंगे?
नहीं, ये मैं जैसे मैंने आपको बताया पहले, आज की तारीख में तो अलाउड नहीं है, बट ये गवर्नमेंट शायद मुझे लगता है जल्दी अलाउ कर देगी, और डेवलपर्स को और बायर को दोनों को फायदा होगा। डेवलपर को फायदा यही है कि उसको टाइम से वो घर बना पाएगा, टाइम से उसको पेमेंट आती रहेगी, और एंड यूजर को ये फायदा होगा कि ईएमआई और घर का किराया दोनों साथ में देना पड़ेगा उससे।
Vikas, the government has announced a moratorium of 3 months for the EMIs, but it is not interest free. Is this really going to help both the buyer as well as the developer?
देखो, बायर के पर्सपेक्टिव से पलाश, मेरा मानना ये है कि ये बहुत इफेक्टिव नहीं रहेगा, बिकॉज इंटरेस्ट का वेवर नहीं है, और इंटरेस्ट का वेवर शायद गवर्नमेंट दे भी नहीं सकते थे, बिकॉज अगर इंटरेस्ट का वेवर वो अनाउंस करते तो सब बैंकिंग इंस्टीट्यूशंस के ऊपर बहुत ज्यादा बर्डन आता उसका। बट इफ you as an individual is in a very, very tricky situation where you have lost your job, all your salaries have been cut significantly, this kind of a moratorium will help you manage your cash flows in the interim. If you are able to manage your cash flows, you are able to pay your EMIs, our recommendation is you should not go for that moratorium. You should pay your EMI in the normal course. But if you are in a difficult situation, you should take the shelter of those moratoriums and push your EMIs out.
Lastly, before ending, I'd ask one question each to Deepak Kapoor and Praveen Jain. Deepak is in Credai and Praveen ji is in Naredco. So, Credai what does Credai want from the government now, and what does Naredco want? What all has been fulfilled, and what is the one thing that you would ask from the government from Credai?
कैलाश, चाहे वो क्रेडाई हो या नरेडको हो, दोनों एसोसिएशन एक ही गोल के लिए काम कर रही हैं, and the goal is that let real estate companies be allowed to function, work seamlessly, smoothly, so that we should fulfill our objective of completing the projects and handing over the keys to our end customers. So in doing so, there are a lot of hurdles, procedural hurdles. So time and again, whether it is a Credai platform or it is a Naredco platform, we approach various governments, various departments, various secretaries, and we try to explain them the kind of pain, the agony, the procedural tangles which we are facing, enjoying, with which all the schemes, very, very good schemes are announced, but they do not see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'll share with you, अभी हमारी फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ने बड़ी सारी स्कीम्स अनाउंस की हैं, बट प्री कोविड ऑल्सो अल्टरनेटिव इन्वेस्टमेंट फंड अनाउंस किया था, जिसके लिए SBI कैपिटल एंड SGFC आगे आए थे, एंड 25,000 crore were to be dispersed to the stall projects of the real estate industry. बट उसके प्रोसीजर इतने कॉम्प्लिकेटेड बनाए हुए हैं कि वो आज तक, the scheme was announced sometime in November, and till May, the whole fraternity, the complete SBI, HDFC, they could only disburse to 2 projects. So whatever they thought, it has not seen the impact in reality because of certain procedural tangle with which the schemes are not reaching the end developer. So what from your platform, my request to the government would be, all the schemes are given to the real estate industry, and Credai and Naredco is thankful for them that they look after this industry. But if they can make that procedure simple, if they can understand the pain in implementation of the scheme, if the scheme is a non-starter, as long as it is not being implemented properly. It has been planned for 4.58 lakh units across India, and you have disbursed only for 1,800 units. You see the success rate of the scheme. So we need to request government time and again through our various platforms that please bring in simplification of processes, understand the pain. We just want procedural simplification and implementation at a fast track, so that at the end of the day, ours and government's objectives are very clear. Very transparently, very openly, we should complete our projects and hand over the keys to our consumers who are waiting for long.
प्रवीण जी, आप आखिर में लास्टली कुछ बोलना चाहेंगे? कोई नरेटको की कोई ऐसी मांग हो जो अभी तक आपकी अपेक्षा है?
देखिए, दीपक जी ने बताया जैसे कि हम दोनों संस्थाएं अल्टीमेट तो सोसाइटी के बेटरमेंट के लिए काम कर रही हैं, और एंड यूजर को किसी तरह से जो भी सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम जो है, रुके हुए प्रोजेक्ट हैं जो पिछले 4-5 साल से, वो कंप्लीट हो जाएं और वो डिलीवर हो जाएं। उसके बाद नए प्रोजेक्ट्स में तो रेरा आने के बाद कोई इतनी बड़ी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। जो पुराने प्रोजेक्ट्स हैं उसको डिलीवर करने का बड़ा एक चैलेंज है, और उसके लिए सरकार से जो जैसे भी इन्होंने बताया 25,000 करोड़ रुपए का अभी आज तक 2 ही सैंक्शन हुए हैं, और एक प्रोजेक्ट के अंदर 25 करोड़ रुपए इन्होंने लिमिट कैप शायद 30 करोड़ रुपए फेजेस में देंगे पैसा। वो ऐसा नहीं होगा कि भाई आपको अगर 200 करोड़ की रिक्वायरमेंट है तो वन गो में पैसा मिल जाएगा। तो ये प्रोसीजर इतने कॉम्प्लिकेटेड हैं कि वो टाइम बहुत लगता है। जैसे अभी कोविड की बात करें, कोविड के खुलने के बाद इन्होंने बताया कि सब साइट्स पे कंस्ट्रक्शन स्टार्ट होगी, उसके लिए आप ऑनलाइन एप्लीकेशन दीजिए और आपको अप्रूवल मिल जाएगी। अब वो जैसे हरियाणा में बात करूं मैं, अप्रूवल मिलने के लिए लोगों को 20-20 दिन लगेंगे। अगर आज लोग लेबर वापस जाने शुरू हो गई है, तो मैंने कमिश्नर से बात की, इवन PS टू CM से बात की, वो प्रोसीजर अब इन्होंने जाके 20 दिन बाद बनाया कि आप ऑनलाइन अभी अप्लाई कीजिए, आपको 1 घंटे के अंदर आ जाएगा। पहले ये था 12 दिन 15 दिन अप्रूवल में लग रहे हैं। ये मजाक बना रखा है बिल्कुल ही कि भाई आप अप्रूवल सिस्टम को इतना मतलब जब आप उसमें सिर्फ एक लाइन लिख के दे रहे हैं कि जो MHA की गाइडलाइंस है वो आपको फॉलो करना है, और वो इसके अलावा अप्रूवल्स में इन्होंने कमेटी बना दी कि हाँ जी, एक फाइनेंस का, एक पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट का ऑफिसर होगा, एक कॉर्पोरेशन का होगा, कलेक्टर होगा, मतलब 5 लोगों की टीम बनेगी, और 5 लोग 15 लोग, 3 उसके अंदर पहले एक टीम A चेक करेगी, B चेक करेगी, C चेक करेगी, वो लोग इकट्ठे नहीं होते। मतलब चीजों को, प्रोसीजर को इतना सिंपल बनाया जाए तभी हम लोग काम कर पाएंगे। हमने 3 चीजें इनसे देखिए, 2 अगर वापस रियल एस्टेट को उठाना है, जैसे बात करते हैं, रियल एस्टेट अगर सबसे ज्यादा एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेटेड इंडस्ट्री है और 250 से ज्यादा इंडस्ट्रीज में जुड़ी हुई है, तो इसके अंदर रियल एस्टेट में एक तो कॉन्फिडेंस वापस आए डेवलपर बायर्स का, और दूसरा जो पुराने प्रोजेक्ट हैं वो पूरे हो जाएं। पुराने प्रोजेक्ट्स के लिए हमने एक डिमांड की थी कि जितने भी लोगों ने लोन अभी तक लिया हुआ है, NPA के दिन उन्होंने कर दिया कि 1 साल तक इंसॉल्वेंसी नहीं हो गई। हमने कहा था रीस्ट्रक्चर करते हैं इसको, 2 साल के लिए रीस्ट्रक्चर करते हैं प्रोजेक्ट को, और पहले भी हो चुका है 2007 में एक बार, ऐसा नहीं है कि फर्स्ट टाइम हो रहा है। और रीस्ट्रक्चर करके जितने भी प्रोजेक्ट सैंक्शन हैं, जो नेट पॉजिटिव प्रोजेक्ट हैं, उसके अंदर 20% का और एडिशनल इनको कैपिटल अरेंज करते हैं ताकि वो टाइम से डिलीवर हो जाए और गवर्नमेंट का पैसा NPA ना हो। एक बार NPA हो जाएगा, दूसरा बैंक फाइनेंस नहीं करता। आज बहुत सारे प्रोजेक्ट ऐसे हैं जो NPA होने की कगार पे हैं या NPA हो गए हैं और नेट वर्थ पॉजिटिव है, बैंक चाहता है उनको पैसा देना, और बट वो दे नहीं पाएगा क्योंकि NPA हो चुका है प्रोजेक्ट वो। दूसरा, हमने सरकार से डिमांड की GST और स्टैम्प ड्यूटी चाहे बेशक स्टेट का सब्जेक्ट है, एटलीस्ट 2 चीजें। आज अगर मैं अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन प्रॉपर्टी खरीदता हूँ तो 5% मुझे GST देना पड़ता है, और वही प्रॉपर्टी मैं कंप्लीट होने के बाद लेता हूँ, रेडी टू मूवमेंट प्रॉपर्टी है तो कोई GST नहीं है। तो आज जितना भी कंस्ट्रक्शन है, कंस्ट्रक्शन के ऊपर तो हम लोग GST पे कर ही रहे हैं, उसका इनपुट नहीं मिलता किसी को भी। अगर तैयार हो अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन प्रॉपर्टी 5% वाली, अगर ये GST खत्म कर दें, एटलीस्ट 2-3 साल के लिए खत्म कर दें जब तक इसका इम्पैक्ट है कोविड का, तो बहुत बड़ा रिलीफ बायर को मिल जाएगा। इन्वेस्टर को भी कुछ हो सकता है, इन्वेस्टर भी बस सामने आ जाए। आज इन्वेस्टर इसलिए आने से डरता है, इन्वेस्टर को लगता है कि 5% मैं GST दे दूंगा, 5% मुझे 7% स्टैम्प ड्यूटी देना पड़ेगा, 12% का अप्रिसिएशन नहीं भी होता तो मतलब उसके हाथ में कुछ आने वाला नहीं है। एटलीस्ट अगर ये 2 चीजें खत्म कर दी जाए, गवर्नमेंट को डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस नहीं आएंगे, इनडायरेक्ट टैक्सेस बहुत आ रहे हैं। कंस्ट्रक्शन चल रही है तो एटलीस्ट जो कंस्ट्रक्शन के दौरान GST आना है या मूवमेंट जो है पैसे का, वो शुरू हो जाएगा। तो हमने 3 चीजें जो मेजर हैं, और मुझे लगता है इस पर बातचीत चल भी रही है, कड़ाई भी अपनी कोशिश कर रहा है, नरेडको भी कर रहा है, कुछ ना कुछ पॉजिटिव रिजल्ट आना चाहिए।
Thank you all gentlemen for being with us. Realty web series will again come next week with a new topic and a new subject. Thank you very much.